So what's up people and welcome to Skyrim Modding Adventure Part 9. Yeah, okay, so if you recall, we finished the last episode where we were going into Meridia's shrine to get rid of that Necromancer, and I played this offline. And I got to the point where we're about to go in to take on the Necromancer. But before I do that, I did want to talk about two mods that I loaded up previously offline. And typically, I usually play the game a little bit and then I would load the mods up. But in this case, these are not enhancement mods. These are actually performance optimization mods. And the first one is called SSE Engine Fix. And I guess this is one of those mods that helps fix some of the glitches that came when Skyrim was ported from its original form into the special edition form. And so I don't know what it does, but I've heard that if you run it, it works well. And so I've loaded this into the game. The other mod is really not a mod, it's a utility. It's called BethINI. And it's one of those utilities that if you run it, it helps organize the INI files that are in the game. I guess as you keep on loading mods, you start getting INI files that are getting disorganized and they're not really well optimized, and that'll slow your game down. And so I guess BethINI continuously gets updates as to how these INI should be arranged, and it looks at what sort of mods you have, what sort of INI files you have, and then arranges them into the order that is the most optimized. And so I downloaded this and ran this, and to be honest, I really can't tell a difference, but I figured that any optimization in the performance of the game is always helpful. And considering that most of these mods are actually more burden to the performance of the game, since you're adding more weight to the game, it's always nice to get mods that will actually improve the performance of the game if you add them. So yeah, SSE Engine Fix and BethINI. Okay, so I'm going to start up the game, and let's see if we could get through that Necromancer section, and then see if we could get back to Meridia. I'm gonna leave.
I will remain on guard here.
Yeah, Lydia here. She gets in the way. I played this a little bit and I'm getting whooped here. This Necromancer is tough. And so it may end up being a short episode if I die again, but let me try this. I don't know, isn't there something better? I want to take this guy out as quickly as possible before he can retaliate. I don't know. I don't have much in terms of damaging potions. Let's do this. Okay, so gotta get rid of this shade. This shade's nasty. don't think I have resist. Oh, I do.
It is done. The Defiler is defeated. Take Dawnbreaker from its
Oh,
pedestal.
thank God. Or thank Madeira. I don't know. Thank the 9 divines. I have no idea. Where did the Necromancer go? Huh. Oh, there he is. Oh. There's all these desecrated bodies, so let me gather all the gold from them. Oh, I'm kicking these bodies around. I don't know, maybe Madeira will get angry at me for desecrating these desecrated bodies, but nope. Okay. There's just too much of these guys. Guess I shouldn't complain because I'm getting a decent amount of gold. Oh, here we go.
Malkaran is vanquished. Skyrim's dead shall remain at rest. This is as it should be. This is because of you. A new day is dawning, and you shall be its herald. Take the mighty Dawnbreaker, and with it purge corruption from the dark corners of the world. Wield it in my name, that my influence may grow. It matters not. The plant cares nothing for the rays that bring it the warmth of the sun. As you carry Dawnbreaker, so will my light touch the world.
Okay, well, we survived that. So that's good. That is good. Yep. Yeah, I think this will be my go-to weapon now for a while. Okay, well. Okay, so I guess we should be heading back to
We heading out?
Solitude.
As you command, my Thane.
We still have to do the actual main quest, right? Do the Blades quest. But I think this was worthwhile. I'll probably be able to use that weapon on Dawnbreaker for the actual quest. Okay, so yeah, this looks pretty nice. And I think the scenery is definitely getting a lot better. Yeah, I don't know if BethINI and SSE Engine Fix has improved the performance, but it's definitely running pretty smoothly. Yeah, this is really looking nice. Oh. I think both in the evening, which we saw in the last episode, and even in the day here, this is starting to look pretty darn good. I'm not really getting a good position to be able to view a lot of stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is looking pretty darn good. Yeah, I think Dindalot is working because if you notice the water, although it doesn't look detailed, there are waves. I remember when Dindalot wasn't there, all you would see is this kind of light blue single color. But there are waves down there, even from this
Everything
far.
all right?
Okay, so now that we're in Solitude, we could continue on with the quest. But before I do that, I mean, the whole point was that I do need to mod this game and see how we continue to...
Spare a bite for a poor old veteran?
Here. It's all I can spare.
Okay, let me stop here, and we'll continue.
Coin or two for a veteran? It's not much to ask.
I have to wonder. What does the Dragonborn do once he's been summoned by the Greybeards? Can the Thum be taught, like any skill?
I don't know, do you want to experience Unrelenting Force? Okay, anyway, let's stop here. And let me load up some mods for this episode.
You know you can afford a
Okay, so modding. Yeah, so the two mods that I decided to add this time, one is a gameplay mod, and the other is once again graphics mod. And so the gameplay mod is called Vokrii or Vokrii. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this, but it's a skill tree modification. And for anybody who's played Skyrim, they know that the skill tree modification, the go-to one, is Ordinator. However, the problem with Ordinator is it changes and adds so much to the skill tree that it completely changes it entirely. And there's like twice as many skills now. And from what I hear, you could make your character seriously OP. If you learn how to use Ordinator well. And I wanted to keep it a little bit closer to vanilla. And so although Vokrii is not as much used, it is still quite well followed, and people say that it's quite good. And so I figured that I will start off by, in this gameplay at least, changing the modification to Vokrii. Now, the other one is a mod called Guard Armor Replacer. And this looks pretty good. Now, if you recall the vanilla Skyrim, for all of the major cities or castles or whatever you want to call it, all the guards basically look the same. They have the same sort of armor and helmet and everything. And the only thing that changes is the color. And what's interesting is, considering the fact that it's supposed to be out in the, very cold northern rugged part of Tamriel, these guys are wearing kind of short-sleeved armor, chainmail armor with, kind of like a robe, And so it didn't particularly look the part, and it also didn't particularly look the part of history. Supposedly, from what I hear, the Nords didn't particularly wear this sort of armor. And so what Guard Armor Replacer does is to replace it with armor that is specific to each one of the towns. They're relatively the same, but it has a lot more difference between the different towns than just color. And depending upon if you're in a rich town like Solitude or Whiterun versus some of the smaller towns like Falkrith, the armor and the quality and the luxury of the armor changes. So Whiterun has some pretty fine armor, so the Solitude and Falkrith has a little bit more, lower level armor. At least in looks anyway. And so it becomes a little bit more appropriate to the town. It becomes a little bit appropriate to the history of the Nords, because from what I hear, this sort of armor was what the Nords used to wear in history. I don't know, but that's what I hear. And it gives the gameplay a little bit more complexity without losing the immersiveness nor the lore, because of the fact that this may actually follow the lore better than the vanilla armor. And so I decided to go with these two mods for this particular gameplay. And so let's take a look at what we get. Okay, so we're back, and we have Vokrii on. I loaded it up and went into the game, and it said that Vokrii loaded up. I checked a look at the skill tree, and it is definitely changed. You can't notice it. That's how subtle it is if you quickly looked at it. Unlike Ordinator, where you immediately see just how much more complicated it is. But if you go to, let me... this one, yeah, smithing. You remember smithing was just one giant ring with the arcane option right in the middle, but now it's a lot more complicated, as you can see. And the basic smithing is still this ring sort of area. So you still have steel, dwarven, orcish, ebony, daedric, and yeah, dragon, right? And you have the others, right? But you have these other things like high yield mining, and you have yeah, these things. You could get layered plate, which is something that you never was able to make before. Armor padding, you know, and so you have all these additional capabilities. And they're there for all these other things as well, like blocking is pretty cool. Let's see. This one's pretty cool. You could actually bash with your torch, which is really useful for me because if I go into a dungeon, I often carry a torch, right, just to be able to find myself around, and so that turns out to be useful. Here's another interesting one. This one I think is in the vanilla, but this one isn't. Lion's Arrow. So you could dual cast a projectile spell out of the combat to imprint it, and then fully drawn bow shots trigger a copy of that spell at 60% power. Well, I think what that means is you could actually cast magic with your arrow, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that because I really like archery. If you haven't figured that out in many of my games, you know, so I like ranged weapons, and so I'm gonna have to take a look around. You see that my perks have increased to 22 again. It gave me back all my perk points so that I could distribute them again. And you do it exactly the same way as you do it with vanilla, as you can see here, and then it opens up other perks as you depending about how many points you have, right? So I'm gonna have to take a look at what I want to do, and I'll probably put a lot into the sneaking skill, just because of the fact that I think I need it for the next quest. Now the other one was this, yeah, as you can see, this is what the Solitude Guards look like now.
What is it?
No, sorry, we're just admiring your armor.
Coin or two for a veteran?
Yeah, Solitude has some cool, look at that shield, eh? That's really cool.
Don't suppose you'd enchant my sword? Dull old blade can barely cut butter.
I don't know, you look pretty well equipped compared to what you used to look like. And so yeah, all of the towns now have different armor, and it's kind of interesting to go look at each one. Yeah, look at this. So this looks like a vanilla face. So depending upon whether, now this doesn't look like Bijin, but it looks like the modded from the face overhaul or whatever that was called, you know. And so we have various degrees of facial features for the females. I gotta get one for the males, but there aren't as many.
Never know what treasures may still be aboard.
Oh, okay. I think he gave me a quest. Or at least a place in the map to go
Welcome.
look at.
Let me know if you want anything. Think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
Yeah, for some reason, this bar is really dark when I use enhanced FX lighting. So I have to put this on. Now, yeah, here's a, not you. You look like the other mod, facial overhaul. And then here's a vision mod, right? So, as you can tell, this character kind of looks like an actress in,
You need to leave.
I don't know, she looks a little bit like Jerry Ryan from Star Trek
You need to leave.
Discovery. Was it Discovery? Not Discovery. Star Trek Voyager.
You need to
Yeah,
leave.
anyway. 7 of 9, right?
You need to leave.
Huh? Is he telling me?
You need to leave. Welcome to the Winking Skeever, friend.
I thought you told me to
Remember the
leave
winking
just a few
skeever next
seconds
time your
ago.
foot's sore.
I have no idea. So Lizette is a bard, and she plays the lute, or whatever that thing is. And Gisley has upgraded face from the other mod, the facial overhaul, or whatever that thing is called. I'm going to have to take a look at what all of these mods were called again. But yeah, the vision facial replacements definitely stand out, right? Anyway, I'm here to talk to this guy. But I'm not going to do that because he's going to trigger that entire quest if I start right now, and I don't particularly want to do that. I'll do that offline, and probably get to a point where talking to this guy takes forever, and so I'll do that offline, and then we can continue on. I gotta go probably see the Blades lady. I keep on forgetting her name, but yeah, I'll have to go see her after I give out all my stuff to him. And so anyway, let me do that offline, and then we'll continue on with this modding adventure, and see how far we can continue to improve this game. But thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments, please post it in the comment section below, and hope you join me in my future modding quests. And yeah, until the next one, happy adventuring, happy modding, and as always, Jaya, nice day everyone. Let me save this.